Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Today we'll continue with our grammar lesson, Types of Sentences. I hope you remember what all things we have studied in the last video. The different types of sentences: declarative, exclamatory, interrogative, and imperative. We have also done with transformation of the sentences into assertive, that is exclamatory to assertive, interrogative to assertive. Then we have done with transformation of affirmative to negative, right? So we'll continue with that. Children, you already know what is affirmative and what is negative. Affirmative sentence is positive sentence and just the opposite is negative. But there are some rules. Let us see some of the rules. The transformation of affirmative into negative and vice versa without a change in the meaning is facilitated by the usage of words and phrases such as soon as, the adverb to, TOO2, deny, but, unless, prefer, though, lest, etc., which have a negative meaning. So that means these are the words and phrases we can use while transformation of affirmative to negative or negative to affirmative. Let us see how these words can be used. As soon as the teacher entered the class, the students stood up. What do you see here? As soon as the teacher entered the class, it is past tense. So what will you do? No sooner did the teacher enter the class than the students stood up. So remember, I've seen many children writing just no sooner than, but they forget to write did or does. So there you go wrong. So remember, these are very important things. If the sentence is given in the present tense, you will write does, and if it is given in the past tense, you will write did. That is first part of the sentence. Next we have the adverb to, TOO2. How to interchange affirmative to negative. He is too young to go to school. How will you make negative? He is so young that he cannot go to school. So young, and then opposite cannot, you have to write. So young, he is so young is main clause, that he cannot go to school will be in the subordinate clause. Already we have studied before. Now let's have some more sentences. The sum is too difficult for the class. The sum is so difficult that the class cannot do it. Now the next sentence, he is too fond of money. Now this sentence can be written in two ways. He is unduly fond of money, or he is inordinately fond of money. So you have studied the use of to, how to make or interchange affirmative to negative. Let's see other rule. Next, If and its equivalents. Now what do you mean by equivalents? It means synonyms, which are the other words which means the same. If and its equivalents used to adverbial clauses of condition play an important part in analysis, synthesis and transformation of sentences. Now what do you understand by this? That is, these words, if, in case and supposing, they are all same, and these words are used for analysis. Now what is analysis? Analysis means breaking up. That is, analyze a sentence you must have studied before. Subject, verb, okay? So that is breaking up. And what is synthesis? Synthesis means joining. And transformation, changing of the sentences. Let us see the next rule. If and its equivalents. So if is, you have already studied, it is subordinate conjunction. Equivalence means same, that is synonyms, you can say. If and its equivalents used to adverbial clauses of condition play an important part in analysis, synthesis and transformation of sentences. Now children, already when we have studied simple, compound, complex type of sentences, we have done analysis. Now what is analysis? Analysis is breaking up. Whenever a sentence was given, you were told to first break up the sentence into, divide the sentence into two and find out the subject and predicate. So that is analysis. Okay? Analysis means breaking up. Synthesis. Now what is synthesis? Synthesis means combining the sentence. So joining the sentence. So two simple sentences, when you join and make it compound or you make it complex sentence, so that is synthesis. And transformation of sentence. So transformation of sentence means changing of the sentence, as we have done. That is declarative to exclamatory or affirmative to negative. So these are transformation of sentences. Now if and its equivalents, they are used to do it. Let us see how they can be used. So let us learn their uses. So which are the equivalents? In case and supposing. So if, in case and supposing can be treated as same. Let us see the examples and understand it better. Let us see the first example. If it rains, we cannot play the match. Same sentence you can write with other words. In case it rains, we cannot play the match. Meaning is same. Supposing it rains, we cannot play the match. So here all these are negative sentences. But if and the equivalents, meaning is same. Even if the words are different, but the meaning is same. The next example, as we have studied that if plays an important part in transformation, let us see with this example how it does. If also means in the event of, but while if introduces a clause, in the event of forms part of a phrase. in which of governs a gerund. Now how we will understand? If the train comes late, we have a chance. Here it is a complex sentence. Now here, where is if used? If is introducing the adverb clause, right? If the train comes late. Okay. Now here, this complex sentence, when it is told to make simple sentence, you can use in the event of instead of if. But in the event of will be a part of a phrase. How? Let us see. In the event of the train coming late, we have a chance. So in the event of, it becomes a part of a phrase. And of what? The train coming late. So coming, gerund. So how will you change? How will you transform the sentence? So if clause can be transformed, or from complex sentence you can make it to simple by using in the event of. Next example. Usage sometimes permits the omission of if. Now let us see the sentence. Should he be late? Now what is missing here? If. That means if you have to assume. If he should be late. The meaning is there. But no need of writing if. It is understood. Should he be late means if he should be late. Had I the means if I had the means. Had it not been for his help means if it had not been for his help. So in this way, even if is not there, you can change the sentence, transform the sentence in such a way. Let's see the next example. Provided is an equivalent of if, but it is not used when we have to say something bad or unpleasant. That means it is same. If provided and if means same, but when something bad or unpleasant you have to say, we cannot use provided. Let's see the example. Here, provided he passes in the exam. This is correct way of using it. You cannot say provided he fails in the exam. This is incorrect way of using. So what can we say? If he fails in the exam. If he fails in the exam, he will not be promoted. So what have you understood? Provided is equivalent of if, but you cannot use it for saying something bad or unpleasant. Let us see the next example. Unless is the negative form of if. That means if not. How? Let us understand with the help of example. Unless my father permits me, I cannot come. So how can you transform the sentence? By using if. If my father does not permit me, I cannot come. So you have understood the 5 ways how if can be used for transforming the sentences. The next word, deny. Deny means to declare not to be true, to reject, to refuse admission to disown, to say no. Now let's see the sentence. He denied the report. Now here, This is a simple sentence. Only one finite verb, denied the report. Now, if you have to make it complex, when you remove denied, what will you do? He said that the report was not true. So what have you done? He said. And main clause, that the report was not true, subordinate clause. So you have made it as a complex sentence. So transformations we are doing. That means we are expanding word or phrases to clauses, right? Let us see other way. He now denies his promise. If you remove denies, then what will you write? He now says that he did not make the promise. So what technique we have used? The word deny is substituted by say, and then a negative sense is added by using nor or not. So the words deny, refuse, reject all contain a negative sense. The next word is but. For purposes of transformation, we shall take the three groups. But for, there is no one but, and but that. Let us understand how but is used for transformation. Let us see the first group, but for. But for means, had it not been for, if it had not been for, without, save for, except for. Now, with the help of sentences, we'll understand better. Let us see the first example. But for your help, I would not have passed. Remove but. Now here, this sentence is a simple sentence. If you have to make it complex, what can you do? When you remove but, you can write, had it not been for your help, I would not have passed. Becomes complex sentence. Now what is the technique used? Remove but for and in its place substitute the meaning preferably. Now for changing into simple sentence, you can use without, save for, except for. So if you are told to write simple sentence by removing but for, so you can replace that with without. How? You can write, without your help, I would not have passed. Save for your help, I would not have passed. Or except for your help, I would not have passed. So what have you done? These are simple sentences, but without using but for. Instead of that, these words or phrases you can use for simple sentence. Let's see the next example. But for your timely attendance, I would not have survived. Rewrite as a simple sentence without using but. How can you write? Without your timely attendance, I would not have survived. Or save for your timely attendance, I would not have survived. Or except for your timely attendance, I would not have survived. Understood? There is no one but. Let's see the next group. There is no one but means everyone. Example, there is no rose but has a thorn. Means every rose has a thorn. So what is the technique used? Remove the whole group of words there is no rose but and substitute its meaning every rose. So in this sentence, there is no rose but has a thorn. Where is the main clause? There is no rose. This is the main clause. But has a thorn is subordinate clause. Here, but is the subordinating conjunction with the negative sense, means that not. Don't confuse with compound sentence. Here it is used in a negative sense. It means that not. The group but thus becomes but has no thorn. There is no rose but has a thorn. So to make simple sentence, what will you write? There is no rose without a thorn. Let's see the last group of but, that is but that. Now but that means if not. Example, I would not have believed it but that I saw it with my own eyes. Here but that means if not and introduces an adverbial clause of condition. When the meaning is substituted, the sentence would read, I would not have believed it if I did not see it with my own eyes. So what have you understood? Here, but that means if not. Children, I hope you have understood whatever is taught in this video. After this video, there will be a link. You have to click the link and submit your answers. That's all for today.